Hello, you beautiful people! So, I'm guessing that you clicked on this video because you're a little bit curious about the upcoming character banners coming to Honkai Star Rail and want to plan your savings ahead of time to pull for your desired unit, right? Well, luckily for you, you've landed on the perfect video to get all this banner-related info. Today, I'm mainly going to talk about all the characters that will be featured on the limited banners from patch 3.1 to 3.4, and along with this, we'll also take a look at some speculations about the rerunning units. Other than all that, we're also going to talk about the upcoming characters which will be released in the later half, or the second half of the Amphoria's arc, basically extending from version 3.5 to version 3.7. Yep, do remember to stick around for that, and I have some info related to a new DOT unit and anaxa's new element as well. Before we begin, allow me to quickly tell you guys about a small giveaway that I'll be hosting in this video. So, I'm just going to say that you might need to make a little bit of effort by posting a simple comment down in the comment section, and if you do that, you'll become eligible to enter this 10 Express Pass giveaway that I'll be hosting in this video. Honestly, I think that's a pretty easy way for participation, right? Also, do keep in mind that you don't need to be subscribed to the channel or anything like that to enter it either, so don't worry about it at all. The winners will be chosen randomly, and I'll announce the results for this giveaway in around 2 weeks after posting this video, so good luck to everyone who is participating. Lastly, I just want to say, thank you for all the support recently, and I genuinely love you guys. Anyways, with that done, I'm just going to mention the usual disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is based on info taken from different sources, and it might be changed at any point of time, so take all this info with a grain of salt. With that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Alright, starting with the limited banners for patch 3.1, due to the drip marketing culture. We already know that this patch is going to feature a total of 2 new characters, just like most of the other patches in HSR, and these 2 new characters are going to be Tribbie and mydei. Now, going by the drip marketing release order, Tribbie is going to be featured in the first half of the patch because her drip marketing was posted on December 28th. While mydei will get his featured banner in the second half of patch 3.1 because his drip marketing was posted a day later. Next up, before moving on to the reruns for this patch, I'll give you guys a quick summary on mydei and Tribbie and their kits as of now, just to help you decide if you want to pull for these characters or not. Still, if you have no interest in knowing their kits and how good or bad they'll be for your account, you can simply skip to the rerun section of this video through the timestamps that I made. Okay, so starting with Trib, she is going to be a quantum type unit who follows the path of harmony, and her kit is basically like a hybrid between a sub DPS and a support unit. Honestly, as of right now, Tribbie looks like a really great unit overall because the damage dealt by her follow-ups is really decent, and her supporting capabilities are also very good. I mean, who would have thought a unit who provides resistance penetration and additional damage on every attack will be good, right? All in all, Tribbie has great synergy with basically everyone as a good universal harmony should, so she is definitely going to be one of the best characters to pull for as she is excellent on every single account. Moving on to mydei, he is going to be an imaginary type unit who follows the path of destruction, and he is an excellent example of showing why sustains, especially healers, are still important in this game. Basically, mydei is a main DPS type unit who drains his own HP by quite a lot, just to gain some huge buffs and enhance his abilities as he enters his Vendetta state. I think he is genuinely a really good DPS as his self-buffs are quite insane because he literally gives himself a total of 48% extra crit rate, and his damage in AoE and single target scenarios is pretty decent. Honestly though, having a sustain is the most important thing for him, so you might want to start gearing your Gallagher, Luocha, Lingsha, or Huohua because that's all mydei really needs in his team other than the supports. Overall, I would say mydei is a relatively safe pull for most accounts, as he is really easy to use due to the built-in autoplay in his kit, and he also deals a respectable amount of damage. Anyways, with that, we're totally done discussing the new units which are going to be featured in patch 3.1. Continuing forward, let's move on and take a look at the characters who are going to appear on the rerunning banners, before taking a look at the limited banners in patch 3.2. So, according to the info from some sources and my own speculations, there will be a total of 4 rerunning units in patch 3.1, and these units are most likely going to be Yunli, Blade, Jinglu, and Huohua. Now, before you start complaining, I know I say this in every banner-related video, but I think we all know that HSR likes to rerun characters who are somewhat synergistic with the newly released units, right? We've seen this happen multiple times already with Firefly and Ruan Mei Rerun, Sunday and Jing Yuan Rerun, and lastly, the current banners are also an example for this as they are rerunning Jade and Lingsha along with the Herda's release, and these three characters synergize really well with each other. You get my point, yeah? Now, if you keep this point in mind, I would say that a triple banner featuring Yunli, Blade, and Jinglu makes quite a lot of sense because all of these units synergize pretty well with tribbie, especially Yunli and Blade. Just want to say, if you're a Blade main, I would definitely advise you to start saving for tribbie, because she actually amplifies Blade by a pretty decent amount. Welp, moving on to Huohua, I would say her rerun also makes a ton of sense because she pretty much synergizes with every new DPS released after patch 3.0, namely the Herda, Aglaya, and mydei as well. Other than that, it's been a while since she had a rerun because her last rerun was all the way back in patch 2.4 alongside Yunli's initial release banner. Also, excluding the Herda who synergizes insanely well with Lingsha, both Aglaya and mydei prefer Huohua on the sustained slot in their premium teams, because she helps both of them quite a lot with the extra 20% energy that she provides with her ultimate, and mydei desperately needs a healer in his team anyway due to how his kit functions. All in all, if you still don't have 2 limited sustains on your account and you're interested in pulling for Aglaya or mydei, I would definitely advise you to consider getting Huohua as well because she makes both of them a lot better, and she is also a really great universal sustain. Lastly, discussing their banner order, I think it's pretty obvious that Yunli, Blade, and Jinglu are going to be featured on a triple rerun banner alongside Tribbie's release in the first half of the patch, while Huohua is going to get her rerun in the second half alongside mydei's initial release banner. These are the exact release dates for both of these banners, but do keep in mind that this is only the case if nothing changes within the current patch schedule. Alright, that's all the limited banners which are going to be featured in patch 3.1. Honestly, from the looks of it, even though I like mydei's design quite a lot, I'm probably going to end up skipping him and tribbie as well because mydei's playstyle just looks boring to me and the lack of control doesn't really suit me either. Actually, now that we're talking about mydei, I want to ask, how do you guys feel about his playstyle and his kit overall? Continuing forward, let's move on from patch 3.1 and finally take a look at the limited banners and the speculations for the rerunning units in patch 3.2. So, according to a lot of very reliable sources, in the typical HSR fashion, this patch is also going to feature a total of 2 new characters just like version 3.0 and 3.1, and these 2 characters will be castorice and anaxa. Yep, this patch is going to feature 2 of the most hyped characters during the Amphirius arc, and also, if someone doesn't know, this version is also going to be the 2nd anniversary patch of HSR. Yep, all the top-up bonuses are going to get a reset as soon as this patch starts, and that might help a lot of you guys who are aiming to get both castorice and anaxa just like me. We don't really have any kind of concrete kit info on both of these units, but we do know a little bit of info on their kits, so let me quickly tell you about that. Okay, starting with castorice, I think a lot of you already know that she is going to be a quantum-type unit who follows the path of remembrance, and she'll play the role of a main DPS on your team while also having some sub-DPS capabilities. Basically, castorice is going to be an HP scaling unit, and from the new or recent info that we got on her kit, this source stated that whenever castorice attacks an enemy, she will drain a bit of HP from her entire team. Yep, I know this sounds very similar to Jinglia's HP drain because both of them drain a little bit of HP from their teammates, but unlike Jinglia's HP drain, castorice will actually get a huge buff after draining this HP from her teammates, and along with this, she also gets some sort of unique stacks. Now, with these unique stacks, she can actually enhance her summon, which is this undead dragon that we've already seen in her animations, and this dragon uses a beam-type attack to damage the enemies. Dude, I think I just have to say it, it's kind of crazy how good her animations look, and on top of that, I don't think we've even seen all of her animations yet, especially her ultimate animation, which is honestly kind of insane to think about. I mean, she was already a must-pull for me because I really like her purplish design, and she also uses a huge dragon as a summon, but her animations also look insanely good, which was expected, but I'm still pretty happy. By the way, her release banner is most likely going to be featured around April 9th, so don't worry, you have all the time in the world to start saving for her. Overall, I'm pretty confident that castorice is most likely going to have a broken kit considering that she is an anniversary character and they won't fumble her kit or her animations at all. Next up, Moving on to Anaxa, I know that a lot of sources were saying that he is going to be an ice-type unit who follows the path of nihility, and honestly, I think the ice element actually complemented his design quite well. Now though, according to some new and reliable sources, Anaxa's path has been changed, and he is most likely going to follow the path of erudition rather than following the path of nihility. Okay, I was genuinely hoping that Anaxa would be somewhat like a 5-star version of Pella, but I don't really have any kind of problems with him being an erudition unit. I mean, if he is an erudition unit, he is most likely going to synergize really well with the Herta, which is pretty nice because I was already planning to pull for both of them. Oh, by the way, his element also got changed along with his path, and I think you can probably guess what his element is going to be because for some reason, all the males in this game really like this one element quite a lot. Well, if you're still confused and didn't figure it out, Anaxa's element is most likely going to get changed from ice to imaginary. Classic, right? Dude, I have no idea why they're making every male character an imaginary unit, and at this point, I think it's starting to get a little bit annoying. The source which stated that Anaxa is going to be an imaginary type unit isn't really considered that reliable though, so there's still some hope left. Lastly, talking about his kit, I think Anaxa is probably going to be an ultimate spamming erudition unit who will also apply some debuffs like defense down with his ultimate, because this will make him very synergistic with both the Herta and Tribbie. Anyways, with that, we're done discussing the limited units which are going to be featured in patch 3.2, and without wasting any time, let's take a look at the rerunning units for this patch. Again, just my own speculations, but I think there will be a total of 2 rerunning units in this patch, and these units will be Sunday and Dr. Ratio. Now, as for the reason why I'm saying Sunday is going to get a rerun in this patch, even though he just released in 2.7, it's because according to a source, castorice is going to prefer Sunday in her premium team, which is kind of understandable considering that Sunday is quite literally a support made for remembrance-type units. Also, we already know that in HSR, a character can rerun quite frequently, especially if they synergize insanely well with the newly released character. Now, as for Dr. Ratio, I think it's about time that they give him his first rerun after his release banner all the way back in version 1.6, and he might have a little bit of synergy with Anaxa as well, so there's that. All in all, the only rerun that I'm somewhat confident about is Sunday, and do keep in mind that these reruns are only based on speculations, so they might turn out to be completely wrong. With that, we're totally done discussing the limited and rerunning banners in patch 3.2. I have to say though, this patch is quite literally going to drain all my jades because I somehow need to get both castorice and Anaxa, and there is no way I'm skipping any one of them unless their gameplay is just very boring. Finally, for the last section, let me compile all the info that we have right now on some upcoming units releasing from version 3.3 to 3.5. Alright, starting with patch 3.3, just like all the other patches, this patch is also going to feature a total of 2 new characters, and these characters are most likely going to be Cypher and Hyacinth. Believe me when I say that we have literally zero info on both of their kits as of now, but we can somewhat speculate that Hyacinth might turn out to be an abundance unit, considering her description which was shown in the Empress trailer. I mean, I guess Hyacinth being an abundance unit does make quite a lot of sense considering that she looks really similar to Barbara from Genshin with slightly pink hairs, which in my opinion looks really great. As for Cypher, I know there were some speculations that I shared in my last video which stated that she might be a physical DOT type unit, but according to a very reliable source, that physical DOT role will be transferred to another character, and now we are left with no other info on Cypher's kit. Next up, moving on to version 3.4, I think at this point I should just stop saying it because everybody knows that this patch is also going to feature a total of 2 new characters, and one of these units will be Phainon. All the info that we have on his kit as of now is that Phainon will be a physical type unit who follows the path of destruction, and that's pretty much it. I've already gone over his kit info and speculations in one of my previous videos, so I think there's literally no point in repeating all that info. I have to say though, no spoilers, but I really like him in the story, and I think his model looks really great as well. Now, as for the other unit who is going to be released in this patch alongside Phainon, this character is going to be a fire-type unit who follows the path of preservation, and they will obviously play the role of a sustain on your team. According to the current speculation, this unit is most likely going to be this silhouetted character who was shown in the Empress trailer, but their release date is quite far away for now, so don't take any of this info too seriously. Lastly, talking about Cyrene or Alicia's XP, a pretty reliable source has stated that she is going to be released in the second half of the Empress arc, probably between patch 3.5 to 3.7. Also, she is going to get a new model when she becomes playable, and this model is going to be the maid model similar to castorice or Rerun. Honestly, I already know that I'm going broke whenever Cyrene releases, because considering that she is an Alicia XP, I'm most likely going to E6 her or at least get her E2, and I'll somehow need to manage that while pulling all the other characters that I want during the Amphirius arc. Now, other than that, according to a very reliable source, Hizelins is going to be physical type unit who will be specially catered towards the DOT archetype, but we quite literally have no info on her release date as of now. Anyways, with that, I've covered all the limited characters and rerunning banners from patch 3.1 to patch 3.2, and some upcoming characters from patch 3.3 to 3.5 as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and do remember to comment down which character you're going to pull for in these upcoming patches. Personally, I already got my E0 S1 the Herda, and now I've started saving all my Jades for castorice, anaxa, and phainon, because I don't think I can skip any one of them. Also, if you actually ended up watching until the very end, thank you, and you might want to consider subscribing as well. With that being said, as I stated at the very start of the video, I really love you guys, and I will see you in another one.